Hey guys! Thanks for tuning on into the Megasquirt project here at Nev's Garage. Now, last episode we gave the Vortex vehicle speed sensor controlled table switching, right? And that was really exciting. Now this episode, what we're going to be doing is, right, we're going to be replacing the factory optical trigger wheel inside the Dizzy, right? Now this is the crank and cam sensor for the EA82, right? We're going to be replacing this with a better resolution wheel to suit the Megasquirt. Okay? It's going to be really exciting. Let's get into it. So here it is here. This is the DIY wheel. Alright. So it's a 24 minus 2 plus 1 wheel. And that's going to emulate a 12 minus 1 crank wheel with a polling tooth for cam. So that's pretty cool, huh? And what that's going to do is increase our timing resolution. The reason I want to do that is because the factory wheel is a 4-tooth wheel plus a 360 tooth wheel. Okay? And to use the 360 teeth, you need a special decoder for MS3, which they don't have for EA82, which is a little disappointing. But anyway, the wheel is quite cheap, the replacement one. So yeah, let's throw it in and set it up and see how it goes. Alright, so first step is going to be to remove the distributor cap. Off she comes. And you'll notice I've got a lot of grease around the distributor cap seal there. Well, that's because I don't want water in my distributor. These seals are pretty old, and I just put a bit of Bendix high temperature rubber grease around the seals. That's because it resists high heat because it's made for brakes and it doesn't swell rubbers or anything. So I just put it around there for a little bit of extra water resistance. So that's what's going on there. So I'm just going to tie the cap that way. And now I'm going to wipe all that excess grease off. Alright, cool. And the next step is to take the rotor off. So to do that, I have to rotate the engine a bit to get to the screw. There's the rotor. Now the next step is to take the seals off very gently. Like that. Now the little side plugs as well. And 2. Now I can take the metal case off there, but I'm just going to give it a bit of a wipe first. Just get any kind of debris off it. Use a little stubby screwdriver for that. Magnet. Now take the plate off. Like that. And there we are. You can see the inside of the Dizzy now. And there's the factory wheel. Alright, so now we've got to get that wheel out. So what we've got is a Phillips screw down the top of that arbor. We've got to take that off. Okay, so there's the arbor off now. There we are. Okay, now that trigger wheel should just slip out now. So once again, very gently, I'm just going to grab it like this. Just tease it up off the boss.
like that. And I'm just going to pull it out. So I don't really want to wreck it. I want to remove it, but I don't want to wreck it. There we are. Okay, there he is. Cool. Alright, now here's a new wheel. Now you can see that this wheel has only got one alignment hole there, whereas the boss down there has 2 pins. Okay, so what we need to do is take that boss off and get rid of that second pin so this can screw down properly. Don't mind the background noise of the washing machine either. It's not like Downton Abbey around here. I've got to do my own washing, so I'm just going to put up with that. What I'm going to do first is turn this back a bit. Just there, okay? Opposite there. Alright, then we're going to get that bottom boss off. There we are, like that. Sucking off with our magnet. Okay, now you'll notice that a tension washer came off as well. I'm just going to put it straight back down there. Straight back on there. That's where he was, right? Okay, cool. Now, you'll see the 2 alignment pins on this, or tangs, or whatever you want to call them. Alright, so it's going to be in there like that. So I'm going to take this one here off, okay, because it's going to foul our trigger wheel. That's all I did, was just buzz it off with a file, okay, so I didn't distort the plate or anything. So that locating lug isn't there anymore, so it's not going to foul our wheel. Alright, so now that goes back down onto there. Like that. Right. And now our wheel goes on there. Now, the reason I put the tang 180 degrees from the pickup is so that I can slide the wheel in. Alright, so here we go. There we are. Okay, she's in there. Yep, alright, so now I'm going to put the arbor back on. I'm going to screw him down. Alright, and it looks like it's got clearance off the sensor, so that's good. I don't think it's rubbing. No, you can move it up and down, so very nice. I'm impressed with the quality of that wheel. That's good. Alright, so now we put the cover plate back on. There we are. Alright, so that's the mechanical side of the wheel swap completed. So now it's down to the setting side of it in Tuner Studio to set up the Megasquirt for it. So let's do that. Alright, so now it's time to change some settings. Okay, here we go. Using the MS3 or MS3x. For sequential, which we won't be doing, but we're going to use that trigger mode. So spark mode, we want toothed wheel. Toothed wheel. Input, ignition input capture rising edge. Spark output going high, I'm going to leave that. Number of coils, single coil, yep, spark hardware, yep, that's the same. Okay, trigger wheel arrangement, dual wheel with missing tooth, trigger wheel teeth, 12, missing teeth 1, tooth number 1 angle, going to start at 345. 345 degrees. Wheel speed, crank wheel, second trigger active on, pole level. Alright, so we're going to burn that. We'll close that. That's going to require a power cycle. Okay, cycle back on. Alright, so now we're going to do this part again, do the trigger log. So I've got the fuel pump, the injectors and the coil isolated, they're unplugged. So we're purely just going to do a trigger log. So we're going to go diagnostics and high speed loggers, composite logger, yep, click start. Going to crank the engine for 10 to 20 seconds. Now we've got the plugs out, so it's going to crank over a lot easier. There we are. You should see a pattern showing up something like this. Where is it? Let's go back. Page 1, where is it? Stop. There we are. Okay, so we're getting crank, but we're not getting cam. Alright, so I'm going to crank it with my remote and then try and adjust the resistor pots on the MS3x board. Aha, I saw a cam. I saw a cam signal. Stop. Back. There we are. We had a cam signal. Try turning it a little more. Alright, so what I've done now is I disconnected the pull-up in the loom and put a jumper on JP7 to use the internal pull-up. It seems to be working better. Now, I'm not sure why that's not a solid tooth shape, but the gauge cluster does say, before it said cam fault, and now it doesn't, so that's positive. Now I'm going to do a tooth logger. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Just a single long tooth. It's a missing tooth. Alright, so now I'm going to test for sync. What I'm going to do is turn off and back on again. Reset the sync counter, and then I'm going to crank it over and see what happens. Okay, so it's synced and everything, so it must be right. Just try it again, see how fast it syncs. No, it seems to be fine. Okay, alright, now back to the engine bay now, I guess, to check timing. Alright, so now it's time to check the cranking timing to adjust the tooth number 1 position. So I've just got coil plugged in only. I'm going to go fixed timing, 10 degrees. I'm going to give it a crank and see where our timing is. See if you can see it on the line anyway. It's pretty darn close actually. It's on 11 and it should be 10. So I'm going to go 347. Try that, see if we're going the right way. Yep, it's spot on 10 degrees now. Okay, so I've been having a little trouble getting the cam to sync. So I'll just show you what I mean. Just going to put it onto composite logger. Alright, so this is what I mean, okay? See all these. Once it's going, it's fine, right? So I'm going to stop the log there. If we go back to the start, right? Now this one's crank and this one's cam. If we go back to the start, see all these weird signals and these sync losses, and subsequently that's giving me a cam fault. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. So I've contacted DIYAutotune and I've put a post up on the MS Extra forum. Alright guys, well, the trigger wheel fit in there really well, and the car does start, which is really cool, and it syncs up great, but we're not getting full sync, which means we're not getting cam sync as well as crank. Now, it's understandable, it's a universal Nissan wheel. As far as I know, this is the first EA82 that's ever had the wheel tried in it. It's just what we do here at Nev's Garage, we pioneer. Got to accept a few hiccups along the way though. So now I've been in contact with DIYAutotune via the MS Extra forum, which is fantastic. Now they've told me not to worry too much about this messy pattern on the cam while it's cranking. That's most likely just due to a little bit of noise on the sensor, and also a little bit of whip in the dizzy while cranking. So I'm not worried about that. So I'm just trying to achieve full sync now. So they've asked me to try a few things, to try just altering the settings on the second trigger, which is the cam. So I've tried changing from pole level to rising edge, which didn't help me much. Also tried changing it to falling edge, which did kind of work, but I still got some cam faults. Now they've also asked me to change it back to pole level, but then to check at tooth 11. So we're going to try that now. So let's try that. No, we didn't get full sync. I kind of reckon it's on tooth 10. So I'm going to try 10. See what happens. Oh, we got full sync. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, so I'm going to just try it out for a few days. A few starts and see if it always syncs. Hopefully it does. And synced. Okay, sweet. And sync. And sync. And synced. And sync. And sync. And synced. And sync. 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 Sync.
Alright guys, well how cool is that? We've now got our DIYAutotune trigger wheel in our Subaru Vortex, and we've got full sync. So that means in the future we have the opportunity to run full sequential fuel and spark. That's going to be sick. Now as well as that, we've also got a lot better engine position resolution, right? So we're not getting kickback on start now that we used to get with the old 4-slot wheel. Now that's due to the high trigger offset in these optical dizzies. Anyway, we've found a fix for that. So that pretty much gets you up to speed on this episode of the Megasquirt project. Make sure you tune in next episode on our Megasquirt project, because we're going to be giving the old Vortex closed loop idle control. How are we going to do that with an EA82? You're going to have to tune in and find out. So make sure you hit us up on our socials at Gosson Media, and also subscribe to us here on our YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified when the next bad boy episode drops. Until then though, please keep liking and sharing, and we'll see you next time on Ned's Garage.